It's time for a December homeschool update, but I'm waiting for the cat to get out of the way. Hi you guys, welcome back. I can't believe we're here already. It feels like I just uploaded the November homeschool update and now we're in December. I kind of feel like I need to get this done because pretty soon December ends way before the actual calendar because we're all done for break, and so here we are. I know a lot of moms are doing a Christmas theme homeschool. We're not doing that, but we are doing something completely different for the last 2 weeks before we break for Christmas. Let me give you a quick update and then I'll talk to you about our schedule, because you gotta hang on for the schedule. You really do. You gotta watch the video because the schedule is really cool. But if you don't wanna watch the update, I'll timestamp it so you can get to the schedule. Anyway, okay, here's the update. We're doing great. We're ready for the holiday, but we're not burnt out. We do want to go outside more though. I know a lot of you, if you're in Florida, you're probably looking out there going, oh no, I'm staying in. I don't know, but we love the snow and it's just wonderful. So Morgan's been rolling down the snow mound into the ditch out front of our farmstead until she's just exhausted, which I think is wonderful. So it's great PE in the morning. And then we're just whipping through our math. We're still tracking with the 2 math programs. I do, let me grab the papers here. We do both Saxon 5-4, and then if you've seen my math video, you'll know that we're doing both. So Saxon is the spiral program and Math UC is the mastery program. This is more of a 2nd grade level and this is more of a 4th grade level. So we're doing this for a couple reasons. I wanted to test out a mastery program, but the way Math UC runs, if I just jumped into what the grade level equivalent would be, it doesn't really work that way with mastery. You have to work into it because it goes in chunks rather than spirals. So you can't just jump in and kind of figure stuff out. So I didn't know where we were. I knew we had a few gaps, kind of, I call them forget gaps because I know Morgan had it. And then, I mean, with all math, I mean, I can't remember all of my math. Can you? When we get to high school math, I'm sure we will realize all of the gaps that I have in my head. And so I chose a mastery program. Morgan did the first video I did on math. I was holding up, instead of beta, I was holding up alpha. So she ripped through that in a month. Morgan will probably get through the beta, which is multiple digit addition and subtraction in 2 months. It just goes as fast as the child can go or wants to go. And then when she's done with that at the end of January, we'll move into the next one and the next one after that. So we're tracking on math. We are still doing 2 grammar curricula because also I have a video on that. I just couldn't choose. We both still like both of them. So I've got Fix It Grammar, then I've got First Language Lessons for the Well-Trained Mind, level 4. I love them both. Oh my gosh, I love these books. We'll get through both of these right on time, just before we break for summer. I don't know, I guess this could be like a spoiler, but we are eventually just going to choose one, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna be Well-Trained Mind. I can explain that kind of, I'll go into depth over both of these grammar curricula. They're both excellent. They're excellent. Morgan does this one, Fix It Math, on her own in the morning. She does 1 sentence a day on her own. If she needs help, she just asks me, or sometimes she just cracks out the, sorry, I've got books everywhere. They're gonna fall. I'm scaring the cat. So sometimes Morgan gets the teacher's manual from My Little Basket and does her own self-correction, or if she's got a question, she fills out the sentence and corrects it, and she's not sure if she's right. She'll go ahead and pick out the teacher's manual and look at it herself. This one has sentence diagramming. We love it. I'm a huge fan of this. I love this one. So, and it's interesting because I also love their history program, which is what we are continuing with, and that is the story of the world. So we are well into, yeah, we'll finish this one in March probably. You're supposed to do 1 a year, but when we're done with this, we may just pick up volume 2 right away. Or there's also, I need to break also and do American history. We want to do a little bit of that as well. Morgan is tracking with her poetry memorization. She's got 10 or 11 poems memorized, which is just great. It's so fun. She just can recite them really quickly, and it's fun we do that during our walks. And then there's French. Morgan's starting to speak French with me. We practice it in the car when we're driving. But I don't want to spend a lot of time on French because I'm not sure that you guys are interested in that. You could let me know if you're more interested in foreign language. Foreign language is a core for me. There's 6 topics I need to cover for North Dakota. That's fine. We do that. But there are 3 topics that are absolute core to this homeschool. And that is math, French, and reading. In no particular order. They're all equal. It's not 1, 2, 3. They are all number one total core important topics. So I can speak ad nauseum about foreign languages, French specifically, or Arabic, but Morgan is learning, she chose to learn French, so I can talk about it constantly. If any of you are interested in more of those videos, let me know. Otherwise, I know that other people are not as interested in that, so I will push that to the back burner. Morgan is really loving reading. It's just wonderful. So we do 3 kinds of reading. I do read alouds to her. We covered Dracula last month. I read the whole unabridged Dracula to her, which was wonderful. And then, I'm not sure if I mentioned this or not, but we finished the whole unabridged Little Women. And then afterwards, we watched the latest movie. I'd like to watch all of the movies. There's a series too. I don't know if you guys have seen, maybe it's on BBC, but there's a Little Women series. I'm not sure how accurate it is to the book. After we read some of these books, like The Hobbit, we read The Hobbit and then we watched the movie. So that's kind of a nice thing to do. So we finished there. Let's see, what read aloud? I don't have a read aloud yet. We're pausing on the read alouds until January because Morgan's really liking curling up in this chair over here. She loves the little reading nook. This is where we do our homeschool. So she curls up in there in the afternoon, and then by the time she's done with her private reading, it's kind of late, and it's okay if I don't do a read aloud. So we'll probably pick it up in January. And then let's see, the next category is we shared read. And so we share read bliss. So Morgan had started this as she read it to herself, but then wanted to read it faster and asked if I would read it with her. So she would read a page, I'd read a page, she'd read a page, and we read this one, and this was her 5-star read. She just loves it. Actually, everything she finishes is a 5-star. So to a 4th grader, I don't think there's a 2, 3, or 4-star. There's a 1-star and there's a 5-star. This was a 5-star. And if it's 1-star, it's a DNF. She just doesn't finish it. Let's see, what other book? Okay, so her quiet reads, I just did a video on graphic novels. I looked down on graphic novels for a long period of time. I've changed my mind for many reasons, and I'm okay with Morgan reading graphic novels in her own leisure, and I'm not going to judge that. It's a genre. So let's see. One non-graphic though is she's reading I Survived the Titanic, The Sinking of the Titanic. She really likes this one. She's in the middle of that one. Morgan finished Be Prepared by Vera Brosgol. This was a really sweet one. This is a creepy read. This is 4th grade horror, if there is such a thing. Wait Till Helen Comes by Mary Downing Hahn. She read The 39 Clues, Book 1, The Maze of Bones. And, I am doing a read aloud. No, this is a shared read. Morgan's doing every other page. The Vanderbeekers. And so I love this book. And usually every other book that we read, I like to have a literature guide that Morgan fills out. Morgan did a literature guide to The Hobbit, and then I read Dracula, and we got so into that. We read it so fast, we didn't have time to do the literature guide. Then Little Women was the same, so we didn't do a literature guide to that either. So we are doing a literature guide to the Vanderbeekers of 141st Street. Here's what we're doing for the schedule. From the 11th to the 15th, we are doing full days, but in the morning we're doing our core, and in the afternoon it's completely different. So what I do is after lunch, Morgan has free reign to do whatever she wants in homeschool. And I help her, I assist her with that in giving her tabs or giving her ideas on tabs in her quiet study workbook that she has. And I put little tabs here, and as she finishes each topic, she just rips it off. She can do any and all of the topics or just one. For instance, the first day we did this, Morgan read for 3 hours in this chair right here, curled up with a little snack and something to drink underneath a blanket, and then she was done. After 3 hours of reading, who am I to say, oh, but you didn't do all the other tabs? That's great. She was done. So then we finished our day without doing any of the other tabs. The next day, she didn't want to read. That's fine. And so I didn't have that as a tab option anyway, because I figured that she'd be sick of it. So there were other things that she could pick. These are the ones that she ripped off today already off of her book. Right now she's doing, is that on here? Right now she's doing Canva art. She likes digital art, and so Morgan is going to redo her quiet study notebook cover. So she's in the study doing that. And then what do we have? Night Zookeeper, if she wants to do that for a little bit of fun writing. So what she finished today, this afternoon, was Matthew C. She updated her reading log. She practiced her flute. She did quiet reading. And she practiced typing. We like typing.com whenever we get to it. It's just something it's important to learn how to type. I don't think I have to explain that, but I'm not going to make it a big deal. I think when you need to type, you learn to type. I did. I could type super fast, maybe not traditionally, but I needed to learn to type, so I did it. And then, so I like to give her fun options and things that aren't our core, but are part of education, are part of, things that she's going to need later on when she's older. So that is what we're doing all this week. We're doing our core in the morning, and then the afternoon, we're not doing well-trained mind grammar or history or the read aloud or anything like that. She can do anything she wants. Then the next week, for the second week, just before we break for Christmas for a week, it's half days. I may change what that was going to entail. Half days was going to be our core and then done. Like when we get to lunch, we're finished. But we are ahead and we have time. We have a lot of time. So we're doing okay. And so I thought, she's really liking the tabs. So I may do in the morning, we'll wake up and do our morning start routine, which is we take the dog for a really long walk, do some PE, rolling down the hill in the snow, falling into the ditch. Don't worry, there's no water in it yet. So we're okay. And then we come back and it's usually morning journaling, fix-it grammar, and poetry. So what we might do is just real abbreviated version of our morning start with a walk and journaling, and then tabs until lunch. So options, she's got options. She can practice her flute, she can whatever. I'll just do a whole ton of tabs for her and see where we go from there, because I'm really interested in seeing how Morgan uses her time. I am so impressed that she curls up in the comfy chair and reads for so many hours. She'll pick up one book and read the whole thing. It's not always a graphic novel. It can be, it was I Survived the Titanic. There's a saying in the military and special forces, slow is smooth, smooth is fast. And so sometimes I feel like we're moving really, really slow when really it's very, very smooth. And we're not rushed. We're not tripping over ourselves trying to get to the next lesson. And because of that, I feel like Morgan is soaking in a lot. And then I realize at the end of this semester, we have time. We're doing just fine. So that is what's going on with the schedule. Here's why I needed to write notes, because I was worried I'd forget like the 5 reasons why I did it, because it's kind of a lot of reasons. Okay, so I needed teacher time off. So Homeschool Mom needed some time to do some scheduling. I was going to do it over the Christmas break, but I want a Christmas break too. That's okay, right? So I'm not doing any homeschool at all. I'm not gonna plan, I'm not gonna do anything. I'm probably not even going to be plugged in. You may not even get a video from me, probably not. I'm taking a break. And so I thought, well, if we have this change in our routine, then in the afternoons, I have personal and private time to do the scheduling stuff that I want to do, to kind of prep and plan. My head is already in summer school. I'm already thinking about the French exam, the DELF in Minneapolis in May. There's all this stuff that's happening in my mind many months from now that I want to get down on paper. So that is the number one reason why I chose to do the 2-week schedule. And then the second reason is, and again, this is all about me really. I mean, when I change my kid's schedule on the whim, it's usually about me. It's not about her. My husband bought me, okay, so I have a tiny kitchen. You've seen it in a video. It's tiny, but it's wonderful. I love it. It's adorable. It has everything it needs, except for I am an old school baker. I do everything by hand. I finally caved because I didn't know until now that KitchenAid had a mini stand mixer called the Artisan. So I've been staring at it for months, and my husband bought it for me, and it actually fits in the kitchen because I didn't want to have the huge 5-quart one that, I mean, it just wouldn't fit. I have to keep putting it away, and if it's put away, I won't use it. But this little Artisan mini, oh, it's wonderful. I baked with 3 different things yesterday with it. So I wanted the afternoon, while Morgan was doing her tabs, I wanted the afternoon to bake. Our third reason is because winter is happening now, we get we're way north. I know we're not Canadians, Hello, Canadians. I know you're further north and it's colder, but being up here, oh my gosh, it gets so dark so early, and it's so dark in the morning too. So I like to avoid that doldrum feeling of, oh, it's dark, there's nothing to do. And I wanted to revamp our schedule to put PE heavier in the morning so that we just get going and we get outside when the light is starting to come up, and you can't see it, but the sun just kind of goes up at about 10 degrees up from the surface of the earth and then right back down. So we have some light, but it's very low. And I want to make as much of it as I can. And so with the schedule change, I can put PE in the morning and we can run around outside and play and really get that light into our eyes and get some energy out so that we're not feeling all icky during the day when it's so dark. By 3:30, it's dark. The fourth reason why I changed to, I wouldn't say an easier schedule, a different schedule. It feels easier because it's not our regular routine. It's because we have the time. We are ahead. We're fine. We have the time to take a break and to try a new schedule, to take a different path in the afternoon without doing history, without doing grammar, without doing reading, because she's doing her reading anyway. So we have the time, we're going to take it. And the fifth reason is I just want to try something new. Our schedule is working great, but I've always been the type of person where just because it's working well doesn't mean that I'm not gonna, you know, those people who say, well, don't fix it if it ain't broke. I'm gonna wanna try to fix it. I'm gonna wanna tinker with it and see, oh, if that's good, what's great? If that's great, what's greater? So I thought, well, let's figure out, let's see what other routines there are. Maybe we'll like something better, but then if not, then that's fine. Then we just know ourselves better. So those are the 5 reasons that we changed our routine up. But here's the weird thing. I had no idea that by doing this, I was going to see Morgan just deeply immerse in subjects that she really likes. I mean, she'll sit here for hours doing a thing, and I'm not controlling that. I can guide it when asked. I can monitor it, but I'm not controlling it. So I have a child who can learn to be in control of her own person, learn to be in control of her own time, and also discover things that are of greater interest to her, because when I see what is interesting to her, I note that, and I, because I control the curriculum, I can bring that into the curriculum in some ways. So that's really why I wanted to document it, because this is working great. I love it. We're going to be ready for the holiday, but not desperate for the holiday with this 2 weeks. And then we'll pick it back up in January with what I think will probably be still the same schedule, but moving PE into the morning in the winter time until spring comes, just so that we can get that blood pumping early in the morning and get energized in the deep, dark winter of North Dakota up here. Because in January and February, we won't have a choice of going outside and running around and playing. We have a winter dog, and I mean, even he wants to stay inside at minus, I think minus 23, and then he kind of wants to come inside, but he'll still take a nap out there. But I'm going to call it around minus 10 and say, I think we can find other things. We could go and drive to, there's Grand Forks Air Force Base that we can go to. There's a wonderful gym there, rock climbing wall and pool and all, gym and an indoor track and everything. The problem is, while that's available to us every day, we can't always get to it every day because of the weather. There are times here that we are literally snowed in like last year we were snowed in for 3 days straight, where even my husband's giant monster truck, we could not get off this farmstead until the township plow cleared out the road for us in front of our farmstead. While there are options, we could go to Grand Forks and do tons of indoor activities, we can't always get there. So now I have a little teeny tiny gym. It's a sad little room down the hallway with no windows, but my husband, we did an addition to the house and we found we had a little extra room. So my husband asked if I wanted to use it as a little exercise room, because I had the jogging machine, our running machine out in the shop. And I thought that was a great idea, because when it's super cold out, it's really hard to get your clothes on and walk all the way out to the shop all bundled up and then take that off because it's still kind of cold in the shop. So what he did was he moved my running machine into that little room before they walled it off. So it actually can't come out unless we break it apart completely. So we've got a little teeny tiny gym, a little place for yoga. I thought I would paint it this winter and put some funny demotivational posters or something up, just for fun, lighthearted stuff, a little ambient light in there, something really nice, and turn it into some place where, even though it's dark in the winter, even though it doesn't have a window, when you flip the light on and you see all these things and it smells good in there and you've got the mat down and everything, and I'll probably burn incense in there or whatever. But have it a nice place for Morgan to go to so that we can just get our energy out when we're stuck on the farmstead. So that's my plan. That's what's going on with me. And I think this will be the last video that you have from me until January, because I want to take in all of this time with the snow and with Morgan, and I'd like to do some completely unnecessary Christmas shopping before Christmas and some completely unnecessary shopping after Christmas, and just take time and have a wonderful time off. And with that, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, enjoy your break, whatever it is, wherever you are, and I'll see you next year.